Coach, I think maybe have you start with the opening statement and then we'll just open it up to some questions.
Yeah, it's good first game for us. We're really just getting started, 4 days of practice. You could see the rust on the offensive end. A lot of turnovers in that first half especially. But I loved the defensive intensity and the work on the glass. So it was a good first effort, and we needed to set a tone for how we want to play, and I think we did that.
All right, great, thanks. Questions, I'll give you the mic, and then if you could just do name and outlet. We'll start with Tim.
Tim Reynolds with the AP. Steve, it's kind of ridiculous that you're going to have all-stars as your entire second unit, but that's the makeup of this team.
I don't find it ridiculous.
So I think it's actually pretty good actually for you.
Yeah.
Just how would you assess the way the quote-unquote second unit?
Yeah, they were great. I mean, we had a slow start, which wasn't surprising given that we're just getting started here. But I love the second group and the defense picking up the pace for us in transition. They made a few good plays there to defensively to really kind of jumpstart our offense, and that got us into the game.
Joe Varden, The Athletic. Steve, you've already warned me a couple times about lineups and not to look too much into them.
Yeah.
But what went into the first group that you put out there, and especially with Drew, just given how guard heavy Canada seems to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's you kind of can't go wrong picking a starting lineup, with this group. So I think I told you guys the other day I'm going to do something different. The next 2 games, we're going to just look at a few different combinations before we settle on anything. But we wanted to establish Joel early in the game, knowing Canada didn't have a lot of size. We didn't really do that. They pressured us into some turnovers. But we liked the combination of those 4 guys. We liked Drew guarding Shea. And then we wanted to play Bam and Anthony Davis together with the second group and see what that looked like. So we'll continue to experiment as we go.
Jeff Zogin, USA Today. Steph, I know you had played FIBA World Cup all before, but getting back into this Olympic swing, what were your impressions of how you played out there tonight? But then also what you're seeing in the lineups and groups you have going out there.
Yeah, I mean, this is always a fun format when you get this collection of guys together, and it's a test and it's a challenge to try to figure out, like Coach said, just the chemistry, just the flow and the rhythm, especially on offense, because there's a temptation to defer, there's a temptation to overthink every possession, because everybody can make a play, and when you have an advantage, you just try to keep the game as simple as possible. That first unit, we struggled with that. But then once we got settled in, it seemed like everybody got a little bit more comfortable as we got deeper into the game, and hopefully the next 4 exhibition games we have, you'll see more progress. So it's just nice to get your legs underneath you and play some meaningful basketball in July. Like that's always fun. I just love hooping.
Dalton Johnson, NBC Sports Bay Area. Steph, you seem to really be getting going in that third quarter. What's the biggest adjustment as far as spacing goes with a team like this?
The different shots you're gonna get. We're all, I think Coach Spo mentioned that in one of our film sessions. We're all high usage guys that you're used to having the ball in your hands and creating, knowing where the defense is. In this FIBA, in this team, catch and shoot. Simple shots. You got to be able to knock them down. You don't know how many you're going to get. You don't know when they're going to come. The spacing is great. We've been getting great shots this whole time playing against a select team, or against ourselves and against Canada. So that's been consistent. It's just a matter of can we knock them down, and then just try to make each possession on offense a little bit smoother, knowing what we're trying to get into. That'll come. So. Just gotta be able to knock down shots. Like that's gonna be a name of the game, especially when games get tight.
Steph, can you take us through the and one that led to the pose that went very quickly viral on the floor?
Just having fun. I obviously got to the basket. and I slid across. I was trying to get back up, but I got stuck, so I just went with the pose and gave myself a second to get up. But you know, I like to have fun and enjoy myself, and it didn't take long for me to, find an opportunity tonight.
I guess I have a question for both of you. For Steve, how did you think Drew did on Shea tonight? And then for Steph, I was wondering just the player reaction in the room when you learned that Kawhi wasn't going to make it.
Drew was great. He's one of the best defenders in the league, not just on ball, but off ball, his help, his anticipation. But I thought that was, one of the keys to the game was just the collective ball pressure that our guys, had and out there. And Drew obviously leads the way in that regard. But if we can get all of our guys, pressuring the ball, we've got big guys behind the play who can, clean things up, and it should be a good combination for our defense.
Steph?
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi gave it everything he had when he was preparing, and those last 3 days of camp, and there was conversation mutually between USAB leadership and Kawhi and his team just to make sure he was set up for success. And I mean, obviously they're tough decisions, and I know he wanted to play, but it's one of those things where he wished us luck and wanted us to go get the goal, and you love that kind of support from a guy that's in a tough situation like that. But hopefully for the long term, he's in a good place because the game needs him. And when he's not out there, you miss an all-time great player. So we hope that he's ready for the season.
Warren Weisfeld, The Guardian. Steve, question for you. As you go to these FIBA competitions every couple of years, I'm wondering just how have you seen the level of competition rise each year, and what are you anticipating from these games?
Well, we're just seeing more and more NBA players on the court. I mean, Canada, every guy that they put out there, their top 10 guys are all NBA players. So when last year we played Germany, they beat us in the semifinals. They had 5 or 6 NBA players, and what all of these teams have now is more and more talent to go with the continuity that they have with these guys playing every summer, whereas our teams tended to change. So the challenge for us is really to come together as a team quickly, because we're not used to playing together, and embrace the challenge that these other teams are getting better and better every year.
Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. This is for either of you. Last night you had the 50-year celebration of USA basketball. It looked like a really nice event. What did it mean for President Obama to be there, the lineage of USA basketball, to be celebrated all in one room in one night?
I mean, it was cool to be a fan for a hot second, and looking at all the history of USAB sports on both the men's and women's side, all the people you looked up to growing up in the game, who've had iconic moments, legendary moments, and have shaped what USA basketball really means and the dominance that we've had. So to see that collection of people, coaches, players, my favorite, I got to see Lenny Wilkins, who used to coach my dad back in Toronto, and it was just like a really cool vibe of just celebrating, basketball history. And then to have, President Obama come, and, he's great with the microphone and really inspiring with his words. And it was cool to set us off into this journey this summer with celebrating the 50 years of USAB and what we're trying to do this summer. So I got goosebumps when he was talking. I got goosebumps watching, who all was in the room. And it makes you feel good about who you represent, so it was cool.
How you delivered a strong message to you guys?
Say what?
How you delivered a strong message to you guys?
Yeah, just about what representing your country means, the opportunity of us sports brings people together, and the fact that we have an opportunity to do something special to inspire hope and inspiration by just striving for excellence. Like we win, he want us to win, and that's what the U.S. has been known for. He didn't put any extra pressure on us. Or anything like that, but it was a great message. And it's nice to, some guys, it was our first time meeting them. It was great to see him. I hadn't seen him in a long time, so very, very special night all the way around.
All right, thanks everyone. Canada's here.